Hey there, this is just a friendly reminder. As you're watching Josh's video, make sure you give him a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and of course, make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you get notified right when we push new content to YouTube. I'm Kelly Walters, and I'm an educator here with Stahls. Thanks so much for watching.
Hey, I'm Josh Ellsworth with Stahls, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to upgrade the spiritware that you print in your business so that schools want to come to you. We're going to do this through a special effect heat transfer vinyl that elevates it just a little bit, as well as unique placement. I'll show you how to cut it, weed it, and heat apply. Let's go. The HTV we'll be using today is called CAD-CUT Fashion-FILM Electric. We'll be using the colors green and orange, and we'll be decorating a Bella Canvas t-shirt. We've loaded our material into our vinyl cutter, programmed the blade depth and downforce accordingly, and sent our vector art. The cutter does the work. We've spaced 2 designs across this 15-inch wide material. Pro tip number 1, invest in a vinyl cutter with a servo motor that can feed a roll continuously. This will allow for accurate, unattended cutting when you're doing larger jobs. Pro tip number 2, pre-feed the material the length of your job to make sure it's going to track straight so you don't waste material. Also notice how we're able to fit more designs on this material because this vinyl cutter can cut in front of the pinch rollers, reducing material waste. With the designs cut, I'm ready to begin the weeding process. I'm going to trim these 2 designs apart. They were cut across the material because I want to show you a weeding tip as well. For design number 1, I'm going to weed it just on a normal table like most people would. Let's start the clock. Grab from the corner of your design and always peel into the lettering. This will help to reduce breaking and reduce your overall weeding time. Pro tip number 3 is use weed borders to your advantage. You can see how I've enclosed the bottom text in a weed border, so if I'm weeding a bunch of designs, I'll be able to come back and weed this controlled area. Makes it a lot quicker and prevents a lot of the breaking as well. Using the Stahls Easy Weeder, I'll go in and clean up all of the areas that need removed. Here's another pro tip. Anytime you can create show-through in your design to allow the garment color to come through, not only is it going to add a second color to the look, but it's also going to make the design feel that much lighter on the garment when somebody's wearing it. Once you get good at weeding, you can stack up all of your scraps on the weeding tool and clean them at one time. You can see the breaking I've had here on this particular font and how I'm having to go even into some of the open areas like the H and the N in the lower areas to clean up some of the details. All right, let's stop the clock on weeding that design off the table. Now, we have a heated weeding panel that we've allowed this design to warm up on. The tip here is that anytime you want to weed faster, if you're working with a hot peel material like Fashion-FILM Electric, heat up the material a little bit, whether that's on your heat press or a dedicated device like this weeding panel, which is linked in the description, and complete your weeding there. Let's start the clock on this design. Notice how all the details come out without breaking because we've warmed the material, making it easy to release, all in one piece. Now you can see I've accidentally lifted a piece on this O. It went away with my scrap, so I'll take the center of this O and replace the piece. So just be careful when you're weeding that you aren't going to accidentally remove that piece, but we can repair that very easily. Especially when you're working with a material with a sticky backing like Fashion-FILM Electric. more little pieces to clean up. And we have a completed design, also ready to apply. Now we'll weed our orange layer all on the weeding panel. Another pro tip is once you get good with the weeding panel, you may want to weed the large details on the panel and then remove the material from the panel to let it cool down to weed the small details so they hold to the carrier a little bit better. Trim this apart, and this is ready to go as well. I'm working on the Hotronix Auto Clam heat press, and I'll be using a heat printing pillow for this job. Heat printing pillows come in all different shapes and sizes. In this case, I'm going to be using the 16 by 20 platen along with the oversized pillow that I'm going to tuck underneath our quick slip pad protector. If you don't have a quick slip pad protector on your heat press, you may want to look into this accessory because it protects your heat press and it makes it easier to slide garments on and off. So I'm going to just fit my pillow underneath the protector since I'm going to be using it for all of the unique applications that I'm doing. And then I'm going to take the protector and I'm going to slide it down over the corner to lock in my pillow. That way I don't have to adjust it each time. With the pillow loaded underneath that quick slip pad protector, I'm ready to load my garment. Now, we're going to start with a simple front placement. So I'll split my shirt, load it on, and then I'm going to do a preheat in order to check my pressure. It's very hard to lock down, that's too much pressure. So I'll turn the knob counterclockwise to retract that. I've added the thickness of the pillow into the press. Still too much. Now when I lock it down, I'm getting a nice pressure. So that acts as the preheat. You'll see here, usually we recommend having the collar drape off of the edge of the press when you're doing front placements. But because we have the pillow in here and we're applying heat transfer vinyl, this collar is going to be able to sink down in. And I'm actually going to place a graphic directly over the collar. That's one of those designs that we created. So I'll grab my collar placement and I'm going to position it directly on top of that. Now, you want to experiment with setting up your artwork. Every collar is a little bit different, but it's really cool because you can do a completely custom branded area like this. So this is some of the unique placements that's going to allow you to drive more profit into your business. So this says Gator Strong. It has the pressure sensitive backing so it can hold to my design. Now I'm going to reach through and grab my other design, which is my Fashion-FILM Electric green, and I'm just going to position that centered on the garment. This is going to be a pretty traditional placement. With both of those designs in the position, I'm going to make sure I heat press them for the recommended time, temperature, and pressure. Double check the time, lock the press down. It will automatically open when it's complete, and then we're going to hot peel that carrier. After it opens, peel back the carrier. You can see it already started to remove. I'll just be a little bit careful with it on this collar because the letters are starting to seat down into the seam a bit. Let's just pause for a second and run that back. I have a new shirt loaded, I have my main design placed, and now I've trimmed up my Gator Strong design to make it a little bit easier to conform to the shape of the particular collar that I'm doing. Position it on, make sure I have good contact away from the seam. As you can see, I've trimmed up my text quite a bit to help with positioning. Now with everything in place, let's cover it with a cover sheet and lock it down. I'll peel it back. Cover it all back up just to seat it down a little more into the collar. That's the result I was looking for. One of the other benefits of having a threadable heat press is that you can spin to print the shirt right on the press. And a location that I've been seeing trending a lot in Team Spirit wear is this printing down the side with a text-based graphic. And so this is one of the easiest things to do. I'm going to make sure this little section is off of the press here so I can do a preheat, and we're going to go directly over this seam down the side panel of the garment. So we'll preheat it. We'll grab our Gator Strong design. We're going to position that directly over the seam, all the way down. I'm going to use a cover sheet just because the last time when it opened it kind of started removing my backing, which means my heater needs cleaned. And I'm going to lock it down for the 12 seconds. Again, I'm going to carefully grab the corner and peel back on the Fashion-FILM Electric. And because I am going over top of a seam, I like to have it seat down in a little bit more, which is why I remove the carrier, cover it with a cover sheet, and hit it for another application just to make sure it's blended in and I get enough pressure. Let's take a close-up look at our completed result. So school spirit wear and the t-shirts you're creating, they don't have to be boring. With a little trial and error, we were able to upgrade our placement and we're able to upgrade our heat transfer vinyl finish. For more information on Fashion-FILM Electric or any of the accessories or heat presses used in this video, visit Stahls.com. The link's in the description below. Thanks for watching.